Is this right? Guys, I haven't
This video is sponsored by Audrey's Flyaway Hair.
been in front of this camera in a hot minute. Welcome to a new YouTube video. We're going to talk about my new Lightroom preset that is releasing, if you're watching this when it comes out tomorrow, Saturday, which is April 9th. That's when it is, April 9th. So what is a Lightroom preset? So you may have heard that term, and if you don't know what that is, I'm going to talk about it. If you do know what that is, please, I hope you're excited, because if you've been following me for a while, a lot of people have been asking me to make my own, and I've been working on one for the last couple months. I actually used to be a photographer. I was a photographer in 2016 through 2018 when I officially, I would say, set my camera down for good. So I've always had a love for photography, and I kind of fell in love with photography with yearbook in high school. But other than that, all that to say, I love the photography side of the business and capturing somebody's just personality with that. So I've been working on, you can see the last month or so, kind of the vibe of my photos I've been working on with this new preset, and it is called Emmy. I'm gonna post some pictures right here so you can see it. It is named after my son Emerson, which we call him Emmy. So it was just, I really have a love for picking names for my products that just have meaning. So that's just a little, I never name something that doesn't mean something to me. Yes, some of my brushes and stuff are named after TV shows, but that's meaningful to me. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the preset, what it is, but you can also, I'm going to put some timestamps in the description if you're here from purchasing the preset and you just want to know, okay, Audrey, how do I import this? I'm gonna leave the timestamps down below so you can kind of just skip forward. There's gonna be a tutorial on how you can use these. I'm gonna teach how you use them on the phone. This is a Lightroom mobile preset, and we're gonna be able to do that. So you do need the Lightroom mobile app. I'm gonna show you really quick what that looks like. It's this. I'm also gonna show you in the tutorial as well towards the end of this video, but it is free to download and you can use the preset for free. There are some features that I personally use, but you don't necessarily have to use, where you do have to get the subscription. But if you're somebody that loves to take photos and loves to learn more about Lightroom to up your photo game, I definitely recommend the subscription for Lightroom. I think it's definitely a must-have and a tool that I have in my arsenal that I definitely think it's worth the purchase or a subscription. So what is a preset basically? So it's basically, in terms that everybody would understand, a filter. So think about on Instagram, like when we originally first got Instagram and they had all the filters you could choose from. That's what essentially Lightroom is. That's what a Lightroom preset is. It takes a hand full of settings, colors, all of that to therefore change the vibe and put a filter on your photo. So let me reset this photo real quick. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show all this in the tutorial. I'm just trying to give you a quick. So this is just a photo. Sorry, the glare. This is just a photo for the preset. You click the preset and it changes it. But all of that to say, here's the thing, and here's where I'm going to get very personal. This is where the timestamp is going to start, where we talk about how to get the best photo when you are trying to use presets, because I was nervous to release presets at first because I wanted to be user friendly, but with presets it is hard, because if you don't have a lot of knowledge about taking photos, or a lot of people see a preset or a filter and they think whatever photo I have, it's going to be a quick fix, it's going to make it beautiful, and then you can put a preset on it and you're kind of like, this looks nothing like the person was advertising, and then you could quickly be like, this is a waste of money. And that's what I'm scared of, honestly. I just don't want people to think I'm like a scammer, or that's not a scammer, but I just don't want people to be upset or disappointed with their purchase. So I thought, why not make a full video on how you can feel confident in making photos that would look good with this preset, if it's the vibe you're going for. I know this preset isn't going to be for everybody, but that's why I put before and afters. It definitely has a brush and barley vibe to it, but that's why I created it, because I do love my vibe, and it seems like a lot of people do like it too. So I thought, why not? So instead of just crossing my fingers and hoping people can just figure it out and make the best out of this preset, I decided to make a video to actually educate a little bit, the best I can build, to best of my ability, to those who aren't photographers and just want to use this preset and have fun with it, even if it's not for a business, if it's not for that, so you can just take photos and use this preset with confidence. So the number one thing I recommend for taking decent photos with your iPhone, anything, when you can, make sure you have natural light. In all the photos that I'm showing you with Emmy before and after, there's good natural light, and that's either facing a window where there's natural light coming in and it's just bright. Now, if you don't have natural light, it's still possible to use this preset and make it look pretty. There's some days where it's gloomy and I don't have natural light, but it is making sure that you're not just taking something in a dark corner. If you are trying to take a photo, just get the best lighting you can. Lighting is going to help tremendously when you're adding a preset. But I do want to preface that if you have a photo that has natural light and a photo that does not have natural light, the preset is going to automatically look different than it would if it had natural light. So that's another thing. Making sure your picture is in focus. That's the second thing. Making sure that whatever you are trying to take a picture of, like if you take a Bible, that it is the main focus. I'm not going to get into like proportions and all that because this isn't a photography class. But I would say the biggest thing on making sure that you get the best use out of this preset and that it looks as beautiful as it can be, use natural light when you can. When you are outside, you don't want to be right in front of the sun. You don't want the sun like beaming on you. Yes, for some pictures, that's what you want. You want kind of open shade. I think that's what it's called. That's what I used to refer to it as. So say you're outside and it's sunny, but then there's a big tree or something and there's a beautiful shade, but it's still covered with natural light because it's there. You have the shade, but the sun is not directly on it, if that makes sense. That's another way. But honestly, those are the biggest things I can say to get the best out of this preset is natural light. Make sure that you get natural light when you can, and when you can't, just make sure it has the best lighting that you can have for it. But that's about it. I'm going to hop into how you can import this import this preset in the next slide. We're gonna import it, and then I'm gonna talk about, maybe I'll show you a photo where it's not the best lighting and some quick adjustments you can make to it to play with it. So that's the best thing about this preset. Yes, you can click it, and the goal is to have a good photo starting from that you don't need to do all these adjustments. It could just be a one click and you're like, I love it.
Okay, first off, I don't know why it looks like this in Dropbox, but it looks better once you import it. You're going to click the top three dots, and then you're going to click Export File, and you can either save the files right here and import that way, or if Lightroom shows up, you can just click Lightroom and it will automatically open in Lightroom. From there, click the file that says DNG on it. That's what the preset is, so make sure it is that photo. Click the three dots in the top right, create preset, and then just name it, which you can name it under Emmy so you know where it's from, and then it is now added to your presets. So now we're going to go to a new photo, and I'm going to click the presets tab at the bottom, go to user presets, and that will be there for you to use at your leisure. Now I'm going to show some photos that weren't taken in natural light and just some tweaks you can make to make it look a little better. So this is just one click. It is good how it is, but I want it a little brighter. So I'm going to take the exposure and I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Another thing I like to do is play with the temperature and make it warmer, just because that's the vibe Emmy is and what I like to go for. You can also play with the highlights and the whites, and that will brighten it up as well. These are the best settings you can play with to see what kind of vibe you're wanting to go and where you're wanting to make it brighter and so forth. This was inside Hobby Lobby, so I thought this was a good chance to show you another not natural light. I up the temperature, go to highlights, and play with those and just get it to where I like. But these settings are the best way to get the best out of this preset, even if you are not doing, or you didn't take your photo in natural light. But other than that, this preset is usually a one-click fix and gives you such a good vibe, so fun, and you can have that brush and barley style. That's so cliche. I can't believe I just said that, but I hope this video was helpful.